Yo, 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 what is up, everyone? Welcome to Constructed Clash. We are going to enter the danger zone today, and by that, we're going to play Moto in this wonderful world of Moto that we have today, Matt.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a interesting experiment.
So, we're trying to be more consistent with this, and we were going to record on Thursday, and just that was not going to happen. Matt's saying that it's good enough today, so we're going to try it, and I'm excited to do it. We're playing Modern this week. Modern is the upcoming RC format. It's the format that I am spending most of my time in as I look towards Portland. And we're going to play the two most popular decks. We're going to play... you're going to be on Dimir, Murktide, and I will be on Boros Energy. Matt, what has changed about Boros Energy since the bans?
Well, for one, there's no more copies of the One Ring. Basically, they have a series of new value engines thanks to the One Ring not filling that slot. It's also now possible to play double pips thanks to Gigantha being banned. So that's why you see Seasoned Pyromancer making a big appearance in these lists. And aside from that, I mean, the deck is pretty much still the same. You don't get those explosive wins with Amped Raptor into the One Ring anymore, but it's still very solid, and it has plenty of grinding power. And if anything, like a lot of the lines that were really kill you out of nowhere were thanks to Goblin Bombardment before, and now we just have room for more of those kind of things.
Sure. Yeah, I think the deck is just solidified as a solid deck in the format and one that's on my radar for Portland. Dimir Murktide is one that is also on my radar, the one that you're playing. How has this deck changed since the One Ring ban?
Honestly, not a lot. The deck is pretty much the same as it was before. It's probably just in a better spot than it was previously. Basically, the Boros matchup used to be really quite bad for Dimir, and now it's a fine matchup, and that's pretty much where the deck is at. Like, Dimir was already one of the best decks. It's just that you could almost never beat Boros, and now that that's not the case, it is a pretty solid choice.
Awesome. Well, let's go look at these decks really quick before we get started. We're going to start out taking a look at Boros Energy. This deck is playing 23 lands, 3 Ragavans, 4 Galvanic Discharge, 2 Static Prison, 4 Ocelot Pride, 4 Guide of Souls, 1 Chain to the Rocks, 4 Ajani, 1 Thalia, 2 Thraben Charm, 3 Goblin Bombardment, 4 Flage, 3 Seasoned Pyromancer, and 2 Fable of the Nearbreaker. Things that I like about this list specifically is I think that this has enough targets for Fable of the Nearbreaker to be playable, whereas when you don't play Seasoned Pyromancer, I think it's actually kind of hard to make that work out. The other thing that I really like about this deck that Matt and I are in disagreement on, I want a little bit more Ragavans in most empty fields. It has the ability to, control the game a lot, let you double spell faster, things like that. So that's the reason that I like it. I'm not sure about this sideboard. This is kind of, this is something that I think this is actually a sideboard just taken from the second place list this week. As of yesterday, of the time of recording. This has 3 Arena of Glories. This is a card that, has been in lots of different numbers kind of in this format. But other than that, I think the mana base is pretty much the same. And the deck is pretty much the same as it always was, with Thalia and Seasoned Pyromancer and Fable kind of being the new additions.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. I think all that makes a lot of sense to me. I'll be interested. I mean, I think in this matchup, your Chain of the Rocks is going to end up being almost strictly better than the Static Prison, other than just the weird niche sequences where you just use Static Prison for energy.
Sure.
But I think in general, it's very interesting to find that split, because I will say that I have often playing against Boros set myself up into situations where my only goal is to stop them from getting energy to be able to hold their Static Prisons. Like, if you can just prevent their energy gain, then their Static Prisons die and then they lose. Yeah. But that being said, there are certainly going to be times when you are going to have a Chain of the Rocks and need to deal with a non-creature permanent, and that's going to be awkward as well.
Next up we have Dimir. This is the deck that you'll be playing, and this is the list that you are playing Why don't you go ahead and read it off for the listeners?
Yeah, sure. So I'm not gonna read off the mana base. It's 2 Considers, 1 Spell Pierce, 3 Spell Snare, 4 Thought Scour, 4 Fatal Push, 4 Unearth, 4 Counterspell, 1 Shoot the Sheriff, 4 Psychic Frog, 4 Abhorrent Oculus, 4 Force of Negations, 2 Harbinger of the Seas, 2 Sink into Stupor, and 3 Murktides. The only notable thing of the mana base is there's 1 Otawara.
Yeah, what is that for? Do you mostly?
Mostly just for. I mean, it's the Sink into Stupors are kind of the same exact card. Like Otawara and Sink into Stupor are functionally very similar. The benefits are that Sink into Stupor. Well, first of all, Sink into Stupor can get things on the stack. Second of all, Sink into Stupor counts as a spell for the purposes of Murktide, or pitching to Force of Negation. The benefit of Otawara is that it doesn't deal you damage when it comes into play. So
Sure.
those are pretty much the differences. Additionally, there are like corner cases where the fact that Otawara is uncounterable is big.
Yeah, things that I noticed that you're not playing. You're only on 2 Consider, and you're playing no main deck. Oh gosh, what's the name of the card that exiles?
Cling to Dust?
Cling to Dust, yep.
Yeah, I recently cut the Cling to Dust and the Graveyard Trespasser from the main deck. I actually recently had a list with 2 Graveyard Trespassers in the sideboard, which I think I was trying to play here, but anyway, I think that you don't really need that stuff in the main. Like, the idea of Cling to Dust is really good, but it rarely comes up in spots where it actually ends up being something you can do. Like, the flashback on it is pretty expensive, so you're not usually going to get to that. At least not in a place where it makes sense. So you're basically hoping to draw it rather than mill it in matchups where it's actually good,
Sure.
which can happen, obviously, and it's really good when it does. But I just didn't feel like I wanted the high roll aspect of that, and I thought that I could take care of any of the problems that I would have in the sideboard.
Okay. That is going to do it for the deck tech portion of this. Let us know in the comments what you think, any thoughts on the decks, and we'll be back with the matches. All right. So, Matt, you have won the die roll for our best of 5.
This is true.
Would you like to be on the play?
I would probably prefer it, yeah. Being on the play sounds way better.
Okay. You had an option, I'm just saying.
I appreciate that. My hand is pretty awkward, honestly. I almost for sure would mulligan this on the draw.
My hand is, I think, medium. It's 4 fetch lands and 3 creatures, but I don't think I want to mulligan this in the dark.
Sure. I'm gonna keep my hand and understand that it could get run over if I don't find any way to interact with the board.
Sorry, I was just in chat. I thought about leaning on Guide of Souls there, but I think that it's too good to lead on Ragavan and just see if.
I mean, yeah, I think if you're playing a bunch of Ragavans and you're considering leading on Guide of Souls, then there's something wrong. One of those 2 things is definitely wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Ooh,
I mean, if you play a mana that can cast that, I'd be very surprised here.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that it's not... Yeah, that's right. Good point. Wish it didn't, though.
I should have. I probably should have done that differently. Now that I'm thinking about what I should have done, maybe not though. It's hard to say. I don't know. My hand is just hard to play from this spot. I think. I like I said, I kept a hand that was like only good on the play because I had double counterspell, but no like actual board interaction or anything. And like, playing against Boros, if I knew the matchup, I would have just mulliganed. But I didn't want to play like I was like, oh, this is definitely Boros,
Yeah.
But obviously, like with you having the 5/1 drop hand, like my double counterspell looks really bad even on the play.
I think all my sequencing was correct this game, which is impressive because I've only played like I don't even know how many games with this deck.
Yeah, I obviously haven't seen your hand the whole time, but based on what you have here, I would say that there likely wasn't an objectively best sequencing. Like you can do
other than the one that I did.
The Ragavan one first. Oh, you're saying that one's the only objectively best one? Sure. Yeah, I think that one of the things that's really interesting about the deck is that you can often play your 1-drops in any order and have justification for it. Like, I don't know if you had the Ocelot Pride in the opener, but like, honestly, Ocelot Pride on 1 is incredibly powerful, and if I were on the play, I would probably do that even over Ragavan. Because like, you think about it, Ragavan is going to give you a card sometimes, but rarely, right? Mostly what it's giving you is a treasure. Whereas the Ocelot Pride basically gives you a card all the time. Especially if you had Guide of Souls Ragavan to follow up, like you could also have a ton of energy, and the game could be basically over on turn 2.
I just deal it to the. When does this have to trigger? This is whenever you attack, you may. So I could deal it to this and then attack with the Ragavan, and
yeah, and then if I wanted to block it, would trade.
Yeah. I think I attack with everything and fly the Ragavan though.
Sure. I don't think I have outs to resolve Flage in game 1, so I think this game is already over. But honestly, I would probably not have attacked with the Guide of Souls. I think that's probably not correct, but which probably means that you also can't attack with the 1/1.
Oh, I just punted though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Played my Ajani second main.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For some reason, I didn't realize that I had 2 treasures.
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't realize you had the other one already, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Psychic Frog was an interesting draw at least. Kind of holding the board for now. My House of Cards is so likely to topple, though. Oh yeah, we're toppling.
Here, look, I'll even show you all my cards.
Sure. They're pretty good ones, though.
Okay, so you can make your frog a 4/3 or a 4/5.
Yeah.
So if I'd
be really surprised if there was a good attack here, but can figure it out. I guess at the end of the day, Flage trading for Murktide isn't that bad. And you can also go face. That's probably a good attack.
Yeah,
just attack
I think
with
I'm
the Flage,
just
go
gonna
face.
Attack with Flage.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's free to attack with the cat.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, we're certainly assuming I have actually nothing, which I do though. So. And I think is probably also apparent based on how this game is played. Actually, you know what? This Flage attack is way less free than I was thinking. I forgot that Psychic Frog is kind of busted. Figure out what the best way to do this is. I guess this is just never going to be good, so I should just do this.
Yeah, that is not something good against the double planes, double treasure board.
Yeah, and also I mean, it's gonna get me worse than you also.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be one card short.
Can't imagine what you could possibly be one card. Oh, you're talking about honor thing. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, not that seems super critical here. Like, I'm just dead on board. Right, is the real problem here.
Yeah.
So basically, if I find an answer for this Johnny, I guess I should just cycle. I mean, it's the only play I have available. So. Uh-huh. All right, new plan. Go for lethal. It's actually way closer than it seems like it should be.
I mean,
I guess you have a flying Ragavan, so it's not that close, but.
it's 18 to the 21.
Yep. And I am deceased.
Okay, let's not submit sideboards. Go into game 2.
Thank you for reminding me. I was just about to start sideboarding.
You're welcome. I knew you were. That's why I said it.
Too much of that grind set.
You got to remember that I'm on the plate.
Oh. Okay, well, we can fix that easily, though, right? It doesn't matter, because we were going to have to do a new match anyway.
Okay, let me... I can't imagine a world in mulliganing this hand.
There. My hand is also much stronger than it was last game. I mean, you could argue that I was supposed to mulligan that in the dark, but I think double counterspell and some threats that are reasonable is a good hand in the dark on the play.
Yeah, I agree.
Notably, Regavan does have one very important thing going for him in this metagame. It's I'm not sure how much I should say about it because it will kind of telegraph my hand a little bit, but I guess I'll just.
It already did. You ever shoot the sheriff?
Yeah. It's an outlaw, which is funny. I wasn't sure if you were up on the metagame enough to know that one.
You shoot the sheriff, and
I know, right?
So, just an interesting thing to talk about here for the viewer. They, one of the things is like, why didn't Spencer play a Goblin Bombardment in main phase 1? And it's because I have different options if the Ragavan hits. So, and he would just do it in response to the Goblin Bombardment.
Yeah, it's never going to be better than just attacking anyway, because I can always respond to it.
Yep.
Well,
so you showed me a wonderful friend.
my camera is not having a good time. A wonderful friend.
And I said, you showed me a wonderful friend. The reason that I'm grabbing Mountain.
Oh, you're talking about the Harbinger. Got it. Yeah, sure. This is game 1, though. How could I have showed it to you? I would also say that that's basically always going to be the case, though. Like, I think that you should play around main deck Harbinger all the time. For anybody that doesn't know, the cool thing about Galvanic Discharge against Psychic Frog is that I have to choose first. So now Spencer can just choose to pay 0 energy, and it's just like an energy ritual, which is pretty cool. You could also choose to pay any amount of energy, yeah. But yeah, this is... I mean, this would have actually been the same either way, whether you spent the energy or not. It's literally the same.
All right, let's get in the red zone. I wish he didn't, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have enough energy left. Maybe I should have discarded a card for that reason. My last card in hand, though, was pretty relevant. You already know what it was. It's Shoot the Sheriff. I could have discarded it so that you wouldn't have enough energy to kill the Oculus with another discharge. Not sure if that's good or not.
I think I'm supposed to attack with at least the 2/2 here.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's almost no chance that I would ever block that 2/2 with almost anything. Even if it was even if it was nothing under there, I wouldn't block.
Oh my gosh.
That's also definitely not nothing.
What's it like to be so rocky?
It's always Oculus under there, don't you know? It's still not like that clear that I'm ahead in this game anyway. Like there are many cards that would just dumpster me here, and being on the draw against Boros is just really hard. I know I said all that stuff about not blocking the Spyro, but that was when I was at 9 or 10 even. Yeah, I'm supposed to block here. Not sure.
I don't know. Is that a creature under that?
It's not a creature, no. It's just
I was like,
well, obviously if it was another Oculus, I wouldn't block, but I don't know. It's unclear if I should be taking 2 here. Yeah, I kind of think that trading my thing for the Spyro here is okay. Especially because you already have one in the graveyard. It's not like I'm even like fueling that avenue for you. Pretty interesting. Yeah, obviously I'm going to attack here because I just need to.
you have to win the game.
Yeah. I guess, so my options, I have a Shoot the Sheriff, which you know about. My other card is Harbinger of the Tides, or Harbinger of the Sea, which shuts off your Arena of Glory. I think that's probably worthwhile. Just trying to figure out if I'm just dead if I do that. I guess not, right? Like I can block. I'm going to have a couple of 2/2s to block here.
Yeah, I was saving this Arena of Glory for this exact reason. I probably should have kept doing it.
I mean, I was already considering playing the Harbinger to play around Arena of Glory. Like, I thought I was surprised that you had it there because you could have technically hasted out the Ajani, but maybe that's just bad.
I thought about hasting out the Ajani, but like, what is the reason to do it?
It probably gets in an extra 2 damage, right? I'm at 3 here, probably, if you do. And there's still a Spyro in play.
That's lethal, right?
Yeah, I assume the tokens count as red permanents, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Actually, is this is one short?
Just attack.
But you can just attack, though, yeah. Yeah, you're just gonna have an attack.
Actually, it is just lethal, right? Because I create another cat.
Oh, why does it make 2?
The other, well, it makes one when.
Oh, the other Johnny made a cat. I understand now.
Yeah. All right, that is gonna do it for. Oh no, we have one more. No. We have. That's it. That's it for pre-sideboard. We will be back with post-sideboard. Okay, so for me, I really like the Chain of the Rocks. I don't really have anything that I'm like. I'm not a Blood Moon gamer in this matchup. And I don't even think that I'm like an Orm champ. Like, I don't think that does anything here. I might like the Ghost Vacuum. And then kind of just want to. I think I want to go down a Goblin Bombardment at least. And maybe honestly, like a Fable is kind of my thought. What do you think of that? Maybe Galvanic Discharge is so bad that it's worth considering cutting that instead.
Yeah, certainly I would not immediately jump to Bombardment or Fable. I think Ghost Vacuum does sound good. I think the other cards you said sound really bad.
The other cards that I said?
Yeah, you said Orm's Chant and something else.
Yeah, I was
just clearly not this matchup.
Yeah.
I guess Blood Moon is not that bad, but
yeah, I don't believe in it here.
Hit or miss.
I think maybe just Galvanic Discharge.
Yeah, I could definitely believe that setting out some number of discharges is okay. I'm not sure how much you're allowed to do that now because of Static Prison, but
what do you mean?
You just have way less ways to make energy now that you're not playing Aether Hub and Ampteraptor.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Okay. Well, I'm going to do this, and then we will talk about your sideboard after the next game. All right, I believe you are on the play this game, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I sure hope so because I just clicked that button. Button pops up, I just click it. This is like pretty much the same hand that I lost with in game 1.
I think my hand is pretty fine.
I think. It's really interesting though. This hand does have a little bit better of a way to facilitate itself than I did in the first, but it also has an extra problem, which is that I could just lose the game by not drawing a land. I think I'm going to mulligan.
Okay.
If nothing else, just because it's going to make a bad viewing experience. Even if I think it might be correct to keep the hand, like it's going to be bad if I just don't hit. I'm sorry, I tried to mute my mic there, but that didn't work out.
You're good. It's almost like you're a human when humans make sounds.
Yeah.
We got a feedback that it was jarring, the number of ums edited out in our podcasts. And I was like, literally, there are people that feel the exact opposite of you. They hear the word and they turn it off. So
I don't know if you cut out there, if I did, but I did not catch what you said. But
I was saying that there was a person that gave us feedback on our podcasts, both Sam's and ours, that said that the number of ums that were being edited out was jarring because humans don't talk like that. And I thought it was really funny because, yes, that is true, but there are people that literally won't listen to the podcast the other way.
That's very interesting because I've also like thought about this some, and I even like really high production content has people saying in it. So
yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. I guess my thing is like a lot less interesting now. I don't know, hoping your hand was something different than what it is.
Okay.
That's among the difficult things about playing against energy. Like, first of all, you can just like lose the game super early because they're a great aggressive deck, but also like they kind of just attack from a lot of angles, so it ends up being very difficult to even understand what you're trying to do a lot of times. Like, I don't always know what my goal should even be, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that clear to me which team that this Harbinger of the Seas is playing for right now, if I'm being honest. I guess it's basically your team now because you can continue to have me locked out of whatever colors until you decide that you want to kill it with the bombardment. So
Okay. I feel very far ahead.
I agree. Yeah, I'm gonna get to solve some of these problems, but not a lot of them.
Hmm. This is 2, I assume, on the backside still.
That's what my assumption is. I sure hope so. If it's not, then this is gonna get way more awkward. I've never engineered explosives in a Johnny before, so you know,
Anything is possible.
yeah, I wouldn't have bet my life on it, but
Okay, so you're at 10.
it feels more like 5.
Yeah, it's going to be lower than that.
Yeah, I believe that as well. Yeah, sure. So you just discard 2 non-land cards here and then jump the cat as well.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Discarding Chain of the Rocks and Ghost Vacuum. Wow, still had all these.
Oh my gosh!
It's fine. I am deceased. But yeah, missing your attack step there. Probably one of my few outs.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Did you actually have anything?
Did I have anything in my hand? I had my draw for turn was Counterspell. I had Psychic Frog, Unearth in hand.
Okay.
So not really.
Yeah. Okay. So even with that,
I didn't have a Deluge in hand. If that's, I mean, that's basically the only card that it could have been that would have helped. I guess actually, Meat Hook Massacre would have been the card that it really needed to be because I needed to do it without spending much life.
Yeah. All right, we will be back. No, but I can't pull your sideboard up, so you have to talk about it blindly.
Why?
Oh, I guess I could do it in another window. Hold on.
It's not gonna be that. It's not a very
Look
involved
behind
sideboard.
the curtains, folks.
It's not too involved anyway.
We might have seen some of it.
Yes, we did see one piece of my sideboard already.
I have it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm setting out one Spell Pierce and two Force of Negations for one Toxic Deluge, one Meat Hook Massacre, and one Engineered Explosives.
Okay.
You know, nothing too crazy. The main deck game plan is really what is going to get me there if I'm going to get there in this matchup anyway. Like the combinations of Fatal Push, Spell Snare, and then just like playing a Frog or an Oculus very early is how you usually win this game. The extra Wraths, or I guess the Wraths in the sideboard, are just to try to avoid getting run over in the early game, because as we've seen in 3 games so far, like when you play a 1-drop and I don't have an answer for it, or like are able to play a 1-drop and then I answer it, and then you play another 1-drop, it becomes very hard to like swing the board back in my favor. So the Wraths help with that.
Yeah, one thing that I would think about is just that, like, when I think about the matchup from the side that I've played the most, which is the Murktide side, a lot of people have Stern Scolding in a lot of those slots, and this is the matchup that they would bring it in. But you're saying that doesn't, and what you said to me when we were playing this matchup together from this side was, yeah, my concern is like it doesn't actually catch you up.
Yeah, I mean, Stern Scolding is great in the matchup. Don't get me wrong. I would bring it in if I had them. But yeah, it's certainly not going to be as good as something like Toxic Deluge, where it's, you know, gonna actually catch me back into the game.
All right, well, let's go into games 4 and 5. I can't imagine mulliganing this hand.
Yeah, I'm also going to keep my hand. A pretty interesting draw, honestly. I had a plan. Now my plans may have changed.
I love it when a plan comes apart to come together for a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but I apologize for everyone for the air there in the recording. That was my bad. But, you know, we live, we learn. I'm not going to worry too much about it.
Or were we just like muted there for a minute? Or?
No, they just didn't see a face. They saw OBS in the window that one of our faces would be.
Sure.
And I have 3 monitors. I only have 2, so. Okay. Well. I think I'm going to attack first.
I think attacking is pretty much always the best first step. Like, it's so rare that doing anything before attacks is better. It can happen, but yeah, my difference in thing wasn't really that exciting for what it's worth. My original plan was to fetch a Surveil Land, but then I drew a Thought Scour, so now my plan is the Thought Scour.
Okay. We getting Murktide?
Man, you're imagining so much over here. Turn 2 Murktides.
You had it?
I mean, I have enough cards for it, yeah. It's true. Yeah.
Okay. Phew, excuse me, bless me. Oh my goodness. We have quite a few options this turn.
Sounds so good for you. I have so few options over here. Really, my options are very limited.
I think this is our best option, though.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. I realized that I made a mistake, though. Because if he's willing
Oh.
to do this, it probably means he has a toxic deluge.
I do have a toxic deluge, but I think that might have been. I'm not sure whether I had like what is my other option. I was gonna get piped regardless.
He just didn't block.
I mean, yeah, I get that. I'm saying like I think the blocking doesn't. It barely even helps. Like I think that this was just the end of the game if I didn't have a deluge. Guess I should have probably jumped and attacked first. Hopefully, if I lose this game by 2 damage, then we'll know that that was why. Arena of Glory is scary. Oh, there's a one that already has haste all the time. That's actually kind of interesting. Like, it actually isn't unreasonable to Arena of Glory a Ragavan, because then you get to keep the Ragavan in play.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never done that before, but it's not. I'm sure it's something that could come up. That's a good one. Alright, let me think. I guess the amount of damage I'm dealing you here probably isn't the biggest determining factor, so probably I should just attack first.
Yeah.
Even though it's very likely that some of these cards in my hand aren't going to come into play. Like, if I, for example, drew Consider into Thought Scour or something like that, I would want to have as much mana as possible. I guess I can always discard one of these lands because there's no scenario where I can play 2 lands this turn. Yeah, I'm just dead. Oh no, hold on. Never mind. I forgot that this can also prevent you from playing that card.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, it shuts off the Arena of Glory, but that's not going to help because I'm just dead to the ETB, but actually does help against it does help against making you not cast it. It's fairly interesting. Like, now that you've spent your mana, I could actually trade here.
Gives you 2 more draw steps to find an answer to Flage.
Yeah, the flip side, though, yeah, I guess this actually just gives you... Well, it doesn't quite give you Flage mana, right?
It does not give me Flage mana.
Pretty interesting. I'm not sure what the right answer is.
I don't know either.
I think I'm supposed to take it, but I could also imagine how this is bad. Being at 1 is not so many. All right. Well, pretty certain that I'm supposed to attack with at least the frog. Probably just frog for now, because if I draw counterspell, which is the way that I'm trying to beat this Flage,
right,
then I don't want to have to spend mana. Like I want to have the 2 mana up now. So I don't want to have to spend mana on another blocker. Okay.
Not the best draw.
Is it not? That just wins the game. That's the best draw. Come on now.
Does it? Oh, yeah, I have a treasure.
Yeah.
You dummy.
I appreciate the part where you're about to pass the turn, though. Man, that was so much cooler.
Whoa! What just happened? Oh, did I win the match again?
Well, that was game 1 of post board, but I had conceded the other one.
Yeah.
Sorry. This was. Yeah, that was game 2 of the post board. You've won 4 in a row currently.
All right. Let's go back to us really quick. Okay, so I gotta ask: have we ever had a 5-0 sweep?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. I mean, we've been doing it for years on and off, so it's hard to keep track. But it's funny. For those who don't know, Matt and I used to do this every week in paper in a recording where we had to literally sleeve up the decks.
I'm certain that if we're going back that far, there's almost definitely been 5-0 sweeps.
Yeah. But I'm excited to kind of talk about this matchup. The reason I wanted to go back to us, though, is I think that we just saw the power of Toxic Deluge, where if that wasn't in your deck, you just literally could never have beaten that draw ever.
Right? Yeah, certainly not. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I could have fatal pushed the Ocelot Pride on turn 1, right? Like I didn't have to let it get to that point if I didn't have the Deluge, but.
I wanted to call it out. So
yeah, for sure, it's crazy strong, and I mean, honestly, you'd be surprised at how often people will take 1 from Ocelot Pride and then push it at they have because the thing is you want to play around the Ajani on turn 2, right?
Right.
So you're okay, I'm gonna take it from the Ocelot Pride, and if they don't play an Ajani, I'll push the Pride so they don't get the 1/1. And if they do play an Ajani, I'll just kill the Ajani.
Right.
and then instead what your opponent actually has is 2 more Ocelot Prides, and you're like, okay, take 1 from the Ocelot Pride, and then they're like, okay, cool, Pride, and you're like, okay, well now I'm just dead.
Yeah.
Should have pushed before combat.
All right, we will be back with Game 5. All right, Matt, you're on the play for all the marbles.
Are there marbles to be had? I feel like I've already lost the marbles. Marbles are already gone.
You gotta call marbles. I don't know.
I mean, so far over our match, I've put 0 Oculuses in play, which is just like...
That's not true.
I put 1 Oculus in play the very first game, and I was already like almost dead on board, right? And it still almost like somehow
flipped
did
into another Oculus.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like the only time I even put an Oculus into play, it was like almost good enough to win a game where I couldn't possibly win.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
Like that's been pretty much the tale of this match. I think is like when you're playing Dimir Oculus and don't have any Oculuses, it goes pretty badly.
Yeah.
Which is, honestly one of the strengths of Boros is that like all your cards are pretty much the same power level. Which is how the deck could literally have 2 cards banned out of it, and it feels basically the same. Like the play patterns, I think what the bannings really did was make the play patterns better. Like the play patterns where you just like went ring into ring into ring sucked, and the play patterns where you just went turn 2 Raptor, put a Flage into play or a ring or whatever, like busted 3 drops and 4 drops.
Oh my gosh! I just did it again. That was the lag.
Oh, did you actually want to attack there?
I did, but it's okay. I don't think. I think it's a close decision. So
I think it's a really bad decision for what it's worth. So like, let's imagine what happens if you attack, right?
Okay.
You attack, I block. You flip your Ajani, you make a 2/1. Then I just attack the Ajani, and now you've traded your Ocelot Pride for a 2/1.
What?
Right?
You would block, right?
Yeah, you attack with Ocelot Pride, I block.
I'd flip.
Uh-huh.
And then I would make a 2/1, put it on your frog.
It doesn't do that. Only if you have a red permanent.
Oh, well, then my attack was really bad. I totally forgot that part. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Shows that I've only played
It's all good.
Do you not have red permanents all the time? I don't understand.
I mean, the Spyro helped a lot. Like it used to be basically only when you had Goblin Bombardment was a Johnny doing that.
Yeah, this is something that I already was saying that I thought Fable was going to be good because of this, and I just forget it. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected to happen after what he just did.
Yeah, man, I don't think my spot is amazing here for what it's worth. Like, I think it's probably in okay shape here. I guess the question is like I think so. Here's the thing: you attacking into my frog would have been very good for me, but me attacking into your cats is probably good for you because like then I can't attack the Ajani, right?
Yeah.
So I could jump the frog here, but I got to discard another card to do this, which is maybe fine.
Yeah, it's probably fine. I mean, you're gonna get the card back, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a question of if this is like, because like I'm probably not gonna be able to jump it every turn. Is like this the best turn to jump it? Probably. Like cards in the early game.
Do you have a counter spell?
Yeah.
Well, then I would do it.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, not having the counterspell might make me more incentivized to do it, right? But trying to draw the counterspell makes sense too.
So I think we need to attack with the 2/1.
Yeah, attacking with 2/1 makes some sense here.
I think we pass.
I'm trying to. I don't think there's any. I guess Raven Charm would be the card.
I mean, there's a dog. I don't know if the dog matters to you, but
No, the dog doesn't matter. I guess it's not. I guess the dog can reset the frog. It's not for nothing. Cats and frogs and dogs and
cats, frogs, and dogs and fish.
yeah.
This is just an animalistic fun time.
Like I am actually really incentivized to cast this Thought Scour in my hand though. I guess I don't need to at the moment. I can just probably try to draw another land. It's a pretty good draw too. Well, now I guess I'm gonna attack with the frog, and if you want to flip the Ajani, it is what it is.
I can't flip the Johnny. I don't have a red permanent.
Well, it still flips. It just doesn't deal damage.
What?
The Ajani flips whenever a cat dies, or you can choose to flip it. You don't have to flip it, actually, technically, but it just so it makes 2/1s, but you only get the
damage only happens.
The damage part is only if you have a red permanent other than Ajani.
You know, I've only played this card 100 times. That was a good draw. Yes, I will use the ability.
Yeah, I would love to flip it from the graveyard. So good. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Like, I guess it also I probably have to counter it because it can also just take out the Harbinger for a turn.
It can, yeah.
You know, just like unlock all of your mana. Obviously, like, you know, you could have Static Prison here, which would be pretty good, but
I do not.
yeah. Thraben Charm kills the Harbinger as well. Yeah. Reasonable.
Dude, I'm so scared of missing my attack step now.
It's easier for me to hit if you hit F6, it won't skip your attack step. It will just go straight to it. So, I don't know. I always just F6 and then right click attack with all or whatever I want to do, you know. But usually it's that though. I guess we're gonna start off with a Thought Scour.
Well, that's pretty good.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now we're gonna start off with an attack phase. I'm actually kind of curious about the way that you've sideboarded in this matchup. We didn't talk about this, but like many lists of
Boros?
many lists of Boros are playing Surgical Extraction in the sideboard.
Okay.
And I think it's quite good in this matchup. I don't know if you did side them in or not, but
I don't have them.
okay, you just don't have any in the sideboard.
No, but that's something we can talk about post-board.
Yeah. It does seem It's not impossible for you to come back in this game for certain, but I would be pretty impressed because you had to spend like there was a lot of time in this game where I was just able to draw cards without you being able to develop much.
Yeah.
And you had to spend a lot of your resources to kind of get out of that situation.
I mean, if you have an Unearth, I think I'm dead. So.
I think if I had an Unearth, I would have done that over hard casting Oculus last turn. So obviously, pretty unlikely that I have it in hand right now, but I am not that convinced that I'm doing that bad, even if we just have the boards that we have now.
Yeah, I think that this just goes to show the power of like Frog Uninterrupted, and honestly, like why you like the main deck, the main deck fish. Like I just think that is it Harbinger of the Tides? Is that what it's called?
Harbinger of the Sea, yeah.
Harbinger of the Sea. Yep.
Yeah, I think it does lead to a lot of just like, oops, I win moments. Certainly. Like you're playing a deck that isn't even like particularly weak to it, and it can just like sometimes win the game.
Yeah, I mean like even playing around Counterspell, I still lost to it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you even fetched a basic on turn 2, right? Like it's just like, okay, well I had one fetch land and one regular land in my hand, and then here we are.
Kind of just dead. You attack, and then you jump, and then like I'm forced to attack.
Yeah, there's definitely some consideration to holding back something here because it's not super free for me to be able to jump every turn.
Right, but you only need to jump one turn, right?
Well, I need to jump twice, right? Like you're at 9.
Yeah, but
so if you threaten the block both times, then one of those times I probably can't jump it.
Sure. Okay. I think you have to counter this.
Do I though? Like,
yeah,
I guess
otherwise I
get
the
Spyro. Yeah, you sack the Spyro. Yeah. Is that even enough though to matter? Might not be enough to matter. I guess it is if I can't jump twice. I guess what I should really do is I should just fetch. I think honestly, with the fact that you've attacked here, I probably actually am overthinking this because I think I can't lose now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't have to jump this turn, and I can just jump next turn.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. I add the math backwards. With the bombardment, I should have only attacked with season.
Yeah, I think that would have made more sense. Trying to jump block here makes a lot of sense, I think. I guess maybe I would have just had enough cards though. Maybe it actually didn't matter. Because I'm gonna draw a card. I could just jump and then discard
and then you draw again.
Yeah.
You get double jump for free.
For sure. I could just jump twice. You're right. So I guess I pretty much, as long as your spell that turn was a non-creature, I was pretty much chilling. I mean, yeah, technically, I guess if you draw a banger spell here, this could actually do something.
I mean, is that one?
Did you draw like a?
I just put a Flage in my graveyard.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you needed to double spell this turn though. Like I have counterspell already.
Oh well.
So putting the Flage in the graveyard was great though because it means that if you drew Static Prison.
What if I drew Flage?
Yeah, that's not gonna do it though, right?
Yeah. All right. I'll play it out.
Yeah.
Just forget that you have a counterspell. You didn't forget.
I guess I probably win even if I let it resolve, right?
Do you?
Yeah, because you only go to 6. I can just jump and
Yeah, you do win.
maybe it's actually probably a punt to counter this now that we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Because if you did have Static Prison, this would be like the all-time jump play here.
All right, we will be back with the post game. We didn't get the sweep. You got there, Matt.
On the board.
On the board. It's funny. Before this, you were talking about how Dimir has a technically good record according to the data against Boros. I have not felt that way playing with or against the deck. And playing an extra Ragavan by itself made that look kind of silly. Like I used or the treasures were relevant in every game.
Sure.
That I had a Ragavan. And I think that for me, this matchup came down to like not who was on the play, but who had like it almost became about like action economy in a way where like important actions mattered. So like really good example, this is the game where you had Oculus into Oculus. I did end up winning that game, but like that should win you like 90% of games. And the game where you had the Deluge, you ended up losing, but like that should win you 90% of games. And I just think that like important cards all mattered in the games, and then it was about how cards lined up after that.
Yeah. What I will say is I think that trying to play blue-black control against Boros is mostly a losing proposition, and you're way better off playing blue-black flyers with like a medium amount of disruption.
Sure.
And my hands did not line up very well for that. Like the one game where I had the Oculuses, I missed my second land drop for one turn, and like was already on the draw. This was game 2 of our match, I believe. And I missed my second land drop, was on the draw. So like I was
sucks.
2 lands behind by the time the Oculus came down.
Yeah.
I do think that usually Oculus is quite strong in the matchup. The first one's not always game ending, but certainly when you flip another Oculus off of it, most of the time that's good enough, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that being blue-black flyers with just a small amount of disruption and not get run over in the early game is the better way to have this matchup go for the Murktide side. That being said, it's not like I have a huge amount of card selection, right, where I'm like getting to choose which version of this deck I'm playing all the time.
No, like you're not like playing Ponder or
yeah, no preordains or anything like that. Yeah,
it's very much like your card selection is actually to try to get your unearths to matter more than anything. And you actually did the game that you won. The unearth actually did matter because you were able to put Harbinger of the Tides into your
and have counterspell up, in the same turn. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically what I would say. Like the hands where even the games where I was able to like pretend to do that with Frog went a lot better than the games where I was trying to just like control the board with nothing of my own going on.
Yeah. Yep, you have to pressure Boros in the same way that they're pressuring you in a lot of ways. So
yeah, this deck is honestly just like way lower on value than Boros is, right? Like you actually are winning the late game most of the time. So like. Anyway, if anything, I'm trying to cheese you out with some 5/5s in the air.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will be doing these every week as often as we can for the rest of this year. And honestly, it's one of the most fun things I get to do in Magic. We made it a time to dedicate to this, and we even went out of our way to do it without that date being possible. Funnily enough, They actually bought enough hamsters that we could do this today. While we were recording, they fixed the issue.
Yep.
With the servers. So they have enough hamsters now. The wheels are spinning. We can keep going. We'll move forward. Thank you, everybody. Leave a comment. Leave a like. See you all next time with another Constructed Clash.
magic, magic.